Imagine standing on a street corner in District 1 of Ho Chi Minh City during rush hour. You look out at this massive, undulating river of motorbikes. It is loud, it is fast, and it looks like absolute, beautiful chaos. Your first instinct might be to step back onto the curb and vow never to cross the street again, let alone drive. But then, after a few weeks, a strange thing happens. You watch the riders, their faces completely calm, navigating the gaps with this effortless grace, and you think to yourself, I want to be a part of that. I want that freedom. But how do you actually get started, legally? Especially if you are an expat who has never ridden a motorbike before, but you do have a driver's license for a car back in your home country.
Most expats feel fear, fascination, then excitement about riding in Vietnam. Getting a license can be confusing, but if you have a valid foreign car license, you have a big advantage. There's a clear process, but it needs patience and planning.
A head start sounds promising, because bureaucratic processes abroad can be intimidating. Let us break down that starting point. If someone arrives in the city and wants to get legal immediately, what is the very first hurdle they have to clear? Can you just walk into a testing center with a tourist visa and sign up?
You cannot get a Vietnamese driver's license on a tourist visa. You need a long-term residency, like a temporary residence card, work permit, or a business visa, valid for at least 3 months. This proves you live in Vietnam before you can convert your foreign car license.
Wait, converting a car license? We are talking about riding a motorbike, which is a completely different vehicle. Why would someone want to convert their car license first?
In Vietnam, getting a motorbike license, a 1 or a 2, usually requires passing a written and practical test. The written test is in Vietnamese and hard for non-fluent speakers. However, if you first convert your foreign car license to a Vietnamese Category B license, you can skip the written exam entirely.
That is a massive relief. I cannot imagine trying to study Vietnamese traffic laws in a language I might still be struggling to order coffee in. So, by converting the car license first, you essentially buy yourself a pass straight to the practical test. How does one actually go about this conversion? What is the paperwork trail?
Get your driver's license, passport, and residency document translated and notarized. Submit them at the Department of Transportation in Ho Chi Minh City, pay the fee, and after a photo session, receive your Vietnamese license in 5 to 7 days.
It sounds like a bit of admin work, but definitely manageable. So, you get the card, you can legally drive a car, which, let us be honest, most expats do not do in Saigon anyway, because parking is a nightmare and a car is just too big for those narrow alleys. But now, you have the golden ticket. You are exempt from the theory test. What happens next? How do we translate that car license into a motorbike license?
Phase 2 is registering for the practical riding test. You must register through a licensed driving school like Thanh Cong or Dien Bo, which are familiar with foreigners. Bring your new Vietnamese car license, a notarized passport copy, passport-sized photos, and an official driver's health checkup certificate when you register.
A health checkup? What does that involve? Is it a rigorous physical, or is it more of a formality?
It is a mix of both. You have to go to an authorized clinic or hospital. They will check your vision, your hearing, your reflexes, and do a general physical exam to make sure you are fit to operate a motor vehicle. It is usually quite fast, but you must make sure the clinic uses the correct official form for driver medical checks. Once you have that certificate, you submit it along with your registration documents and pay the exam fee. The school will then assign you a test date and location.
Excellent. So the paperwork is done, the health check is cleared, and you have a test date. Now we get to the part that actually terrifies people, the practical exam. I have heard rumors about this. I did. People talk about the dreaded figure 8. It sounds like some sort of obstacle course designed to make you fail. What is the actual test like?
The practical test is famous for the figure 8 course. You must ride through a narrow loop without touching the raised yellow lines or putting your feet down. Sensors detect mistakes, and too many cause instant failure.
That sounds incredibly stressful, especially under the watchful eyes of the examiners. And I assume you are not riding your own comfortable automatic scooter that you might have been practicing on?
For the A1 test, you must use a semi-automatic motorbike with foot gear shifts but no manual clutch. Test bikes are usually older Honda Waves with loose controls. Besides the figure eight, you'll ride a narrow line, zigzag cones, and cross bumpy obstacles. Passing the figure eight makes the rest easy.
It sounds like a real test of balance and nerve. For someone who might be nervous, what are the insider secrets? How do you actually conquer the figure eight on an unfamiliar, semi-automatic bike?
The biggest mistake is using first gear, which is too jerky. Use second or third gear for smoother control. Keep a steady, slow speed using the rear brake, never the front brake while turning. Always look where you want to go, not at the lines, to follow the curve naturally.
That makes perfect sense. It is all about muscle memory and head eyes. It actually sounds a lot like the philosophy of riding in Saigon traffic in general. You cannot look at the chaos right in front of your wheel. You have to look ahead and trust the flow. Is it possible to practice on the actual test track before the big day?
Yes, you should practice at test centers during off hours. You can rent test bikes for a short time to get used to the tight turns and bike feel. Without practice, even experienced riders may fail due to the challenging layout.
So practice is key. Let us say you pass. You nail the figure eight, you breeze through the bumps, and the examiner nods. What happens next? How long does it take to get that physical license, and what does it mean for your life in Vietnam?
After passing, it takes 10 to 14 days to get your unified PET card showing car and motorbike qualifications. With it, you're fully legal, avoid fines at checkpoints, and ensure insurance covers you in accidents, a risk not worth ignoring.
That is a critical point. Many people think, oh, I will just pay a minor fine if I get stopped, but they do not think about the worst-case scenario. An accident without insurance coverage can be financially ruinous, not to mention the health implications. Getting legal is not just about avoiding fines. It is about protecting yourself.
Having a license means respecting local laws and ensuring your safety. It frees you from relying on ride-hailing apps or traffic jams, letting you explore hidden alleys, visit beaches, and ride through the countryside. It transforms you from a spectator into an active part of daily life here.
It really is a rite of passage for expats. It feels like once you get your license and can confidently navigate the streets, you have truly arrived. It is a transition from visitor to resident.
It absolutely is. And while the process might seem like a lot of steps, when you break it down, convert the car license, skip the theory, pass the practical, it is highly logical. It just requires taking it one step at a time, just like navigating a busy intersection. You do not look at the whole crowd. You just look at the next open space and move forward.
That is a beautiful way to put it. For anyone listening who is still on the fence, hesitant about the paperwork, or intimidated by the figure eight, the effort is entirely worth it. The freedom of the open road in Vietnam is unlike anything else. Thank you for breaking down the steps so clearly. It makes the mountain look like a series of small, manageable hills.
My pleasure. The key is just to start. Gather your documents, get them translated, and take that first step. Before you know it, you will be riding through the streets, feeling the breeze, and wondering why you ever hesitated in the first place. Just remember to wear a good helmet, stay alert, and embrace the flow.
Wise words to end on. To everyone listening, stay safe out there, enjoy the ride, and we will see you in the next episode.